Hi guys, I am here today coming to you from my car because I have something I would like to say. I'm not exactly sure how to put it, but we've all seen what's going on in the world, the racism, the hatred, the fear, the ignorance, and we all, I think as a collective human race, want it to stop. We all are in this together. And I'm so tired of the black versus white, the gay versus straight, the fat versus thin. The prejudice runs so deep in this country that we can't get past it no matter how hard we try. The thing about racism and prejudice is that it has to be healed from within. And I don't know if we're going to get there without uniting together and loving one another and stopping this fear that we're going to be rejected. I personally would love to stand with everybody who has been persecuted against, everybody who has been persecuted against, and I don't know how, because I know that if I tried to stand with you or with anybody, that I would be rejected. I would be rejected because I'm not gay. I would be rejected because I'm not black, and I haven't suffered for the color of my skin, and I haven't suffered for my sexual orientation. But it doesn't mean that I don't care. I want to stand with you, but I am afraid of the rejection. I'm afraid of being rejected. I'm afraid of being told you have no business here. But the reality of the situation is that the only way that we're going to solve this, the racism, the prejudice, everything has been perpetuated for hundreds of years, and it's never-ending cycle. The black people are angry at the white people, rightfully so, but it's not everyone, and we want to help, but we don't know how. When this whole Black Lives Matter thing started, Black lives have always mattered, but the fact of the matter is, when I can't remember his name, he got shot in his car, the lady went Facebook Live, and it was disgusting. What they did to him was disgusting. What they did to the guy in Minneapolis on Monday, that was disgusting. And we want to help, but we are afraid. And fear has such a low vibration. Fear, I'm sure everyone's afraid of each other, afraid of rejection, afraid of being hurt. And it just has such a low vibration. It breeds anger, it breeds hatred. Everything is starting with fear. And I don't want to be afraid. I want to come out and I want to stand with you. I want to say this is wrong and this can't continue any longer. And the fact of the matter is that racism and prejudice has to be solved from within. Black people are going to have to stop hating the white people, because a lot of us just want to help you. We want to be a part of the solution. We want to be there. We don't want anybody getting hurt. We don't want you to be hurt. We are afraid that we will be rejected because of what racism has done. And yes, it started with us, but we can end it. We can end it if we choose to love each other, if we choose to be kind to each other, if we choose to stand together. United, we stand. Divided, we fall. This is why racism is still going on. This is why it hasn't been solved, because there's so much fear. And the only thing that the fear has bred is more racism and more hatred and more anger. And it's never going to end if we can't stand together. And I don't know how to solve the problem if we can't come together. I want to stand. I want to be there. I want to help. Yes, you have been treated horribly. Yes, what has happened is not okay, but we don't know where to start. We don't know how to fix the problem because we are rejected by you, and we understand. We completely understand, but when we try to help, mostly we're rejected and pushed away and told we don't understand. It's not our battle. No, that's not how it is. We are not 100 different races and 100 different sexualities. We are one race, one human race, and the hatred and the anger has to stop, and we have to love each other enough to stand together, because the majority of Americans feel the way that I do. We know it's wrong. We're angry with you. We want to stand. We just don't know how. So if you would allow us to, I think we could stop this. If we could stand together, I believe that we could solve this. For the first time in hundreds of years, there is enough light and love in this world that we could do this together. But we're not going to do it separated. We're not going to solve the problems. This is just going to keep happening, and we've seen it happen. And when, the riots, the destruction of everybody's property, it's not going to help. I mean, it's been happening over and over again for hundreds of years. Yes, I understand. But at some point, they say the definition of insanity is repeating the same behavior over and over again. What if we tried something different? What if you invited us to help you? Yes, there are still hundreds of thousands of terrible people who perpetuate anger and hatred and racism. But there are millions who would love to help. And if you guys keep doing this alone, the gays kicking the straights out when all they want to do is help because they want them to have their freedom, when the blacks are kicking the white out because they don't understand their struggles for hundreds of years. Maybe we don't, but we want to be there. We want to stand with you. We want to demolish the fear. We don't want to be afraid, and you guys don't want to be afraid. Nobody wants to live in fear and anger and hatred. It's such a horrible place to be. So I am asking for it to stop. For white people to embrace black people, for black people to embrace white people, for us to stand together and say, this man did not deserve to die. This man did nothing wrong, and he did not deserve what happened to him. And if we could come past the racism, past the prejudice, across the you don't understand me and you don't get it, so we're going to do this alone. You haven't been able to do it alone. The closest person who ever did it was Martin Luther King, and he was full of love. He was a kind man, and he knew he saw the bigger picture, he saw it. And I just want the world to come together, and we could do it. We could get rid of racism and bigotry and hatred and racism and prejudice of all levels if we could embrace each other. If the love and light could stand against the darkness and the hatred, we could do it. All we're asking for is a chance. Let us come in and help you. Let us not be black and white. Let us not be gay and straight. Let us not be anything except for one being, one race, one loving. I don't know. All I want is to help, and I don't know how, and I'm afraid if I was to show up at a protest that I would be rejected. And I'm sure that's how the majority of us feel, because I have been watching people It's not just the black people who are angry. It's not just the gay people who are angry. We're angry with you. Let us be together. Let us stand together and say, this was not right. This is not acceptable. Let us be together. And let's end this fear and hatred of each other. And because I will be nice to anybody who's nice to me. And that's how the majority of Americans are. I mean, but we're so afraid. We live and die by fear. Oh, what if they hurt us? What if they reject us? What if they call us names? And the fear of each other is why we haven't solved the problem yet. The fear of each other is why we can't conquer and stand together. Just remember, guys, all you have to do is ask. And the majority, you will have the majority. If you stop hating us and fearing us, we will stand together if you allow us. If you invite us, just let us be a part of it. Let us help. Because we want to so much. But we know, because we've tried. I've tried, at least. And I've been told multiple times, you don't get it. No, maybe I don't get it. But maybe you don't get it either. I love you. I love any person on this planet who has kindness and love in their soul. I don't give a shit whether you're fat or you're thin or you're black or you're white or you're gay or you're straight. I love you. I don't like to be afraid, and I don't like to be treated less than a human, which I'm sure, that's what this is all about, is because, the minority is being treated that way, and their fear and hatred of us is pushing us away, and then it's just an endless cycle that we cannot get through until we stand together. We've been doing this for hundreds of years. I may be longer, I don't know. I'm sure it's always been around. But we could solve the problem if we tried. If we could stand together. If we could be one race, one being. And that's all I want. And I think that's all that most of the people in this world want too. Besides, the minority is full of hatred. The majority of us are full of love, and we want to help fix the problem. But we don't know how. Instead of always being offended because we don't understand you, maybe you could teach and stop the fear and let us be a part of it, and let us stand with you and say that this is not okay. Nobody should be treated that way. Nobody. I don't know, guys. I felt pulled to say what I needed to say, and I hope it makes a difference. I hope that we can come together, and I can come stand right next to you and tell the world that this is not okay. And when we embrace each other and embrace all the love, that's when we're going to fix the bigger picture. So, light and love to everybody. Consider it, guys. United we stand, divided we fall. It's been this cycle for the last hundreds and hundreds of years, and we have stayed divided. Let's try to unite, and let's try to solve this problem from within. Bye, guys.